brand new book, and we're celebrating our brand new book that just came out today called My Hope Story. My name is Brian Dixon. I'm the founder of Hope Books, and I am joined by our director of community, Leilani Wood. Hey, Leilani.
Hello, family and friends.
So good to see you. If you're watching this live, go ahead and hit the share button. That way more people can see it, because tonight we are celebrating 9 authors.
That's
8
right.
are live with us right now, 4 in person and 4 online, that are sharing their hope story. And at Hope Books, we believe that you have a story of hope to share. And there's something so powerful about writing down your words and then sharing those in a published book. So really, really exciting.
Yeah, I'm so excited. We have had the pleasure of already getting to hear in person some of our authors' stories and a bit of their chapter. And we're just so elated that we get to join with you in this interactive event.
Absolutely. And so as you're watching, if there is a certain person you're here to cheer on, give them a shout out in the chat, in the comments. We'll be able to see that and share that. Absolutely. I can't do that thing.
I know, I was trying to do
like
the heart like
this.
this. There we go.
Mine always looks like a potato.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay. So we're so glad that you're here. First time authors, and give them a lot of grace and support, because they are also first time live stream interview guests.
That's right.
Which is really fun.
And you know what? I think these authors always do better than they think they do. But
that's right.
All the love is much appreciated. And we want to hear from you too. This is what this is about. It's interactive.
That's right. Awesome. So we're so glad that you're here. We do have a link in the comments to grab a copy of the book. The book just came out. It's called My Hope Story. It's actually our volume 3, our 3rd volume of My Hope Story. It's available on Amazon. You can get the paperback and the hardcover, and it supports our authors, because our authors get 50% royalties from the book. And so the more you buy, the more they make. So how fun is that? And we can't wait to celebrate with our authors tonight.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Let's go. All right.
All right.
Here we go.
Okay. Well, the first author that I have the absolute delight in introducing to you tonight comes all the way from Nebraska. It's just been such a wonderful opportunity to be able to meet our author, but I will let her introduce herself when she comes on. Can I get everyone to give a round of applause for Melanie? Melanie.
Hi.
Well, hello there. It's so lovely to have you here tonight.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Oh, great.
Appreciate
Okay,
it.
Melanie, I usually like to do something a little fun, and it might be on the little silly side, but would you be willing to answer an icebreaker question for me?
Sure.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
I've got a couple right here. Okay. What single thing makes you most nostalgic?
I don't know. Why did I agree to that question?
Yeah. Do you have something that if you smell it or you see it, it brings back a friendly memory from childhood or anything like that? A candy or something that you drank, or a book even?
Yeah. I think it's visiting the places that I went to when I was a child.
Yeah.
So there's a family camp that I grew up going to in the summers. And so whenever I think of it, it just takes me back to carefree summer days and swimming in a lake and things like that.
I can picture it. Okay, Melanie, thank you so much for answering my silly question, but it was a really great response. Tell us a little bit. Okay, so tell us your full name, a little bit about your chapter without giving the chapter away.
Okay. My name is Melanie Wamhoff, and my chapter is really about giving hope to parents that they don't have to be discouraged about the way that kids turn out because of the culture. Mm-hmm. That there are things in culture that really are feeding our kids, and it can be really sad to see our kids conform to the culture, but we are called as believers to do things differently. Mm-hmm. And so I have a few ideas of how you can do things differently that would give you hope.
Yeah.
and hope for the long haul, and hope for obedience to the Lord, and hope for living in community with people.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
I'm just thinking about back to earlier today when you were sharing about your chapter, and I felt this stirring inside, particularly to your experience with being a mom and raising kids with such a solid foundation. In reference to your chapter, what is one emotion that you hope stays with the reader?
Peace.
Peace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have a good God who neither sleeps nor slumbers.
Mm-hmm.
And in all the seasons that we go through with our families, and there's highs and there's lows, right? Even when everybody's doing things they ought, there's still hard times.
Yeah,
but
for
we
sure.
can have peace because our God is an anchor.
Yeah,
So
I believe that for sure. Okay, next question. With the collaborative piece, why did you say yes to My Hope Story, Volume 3?
well, I really love seeing hope in places, I guess, where other people don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
One book of the Bible that I really love is First Peter.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times you'll open it up and people will say in commentaries and different lessons, like, this is a book about suffering.
Mm-hmm.
And I read it and say, oh, no, it's not.
Yeah.
This is a book about hope,
Yeah.
about all the ways that God equips us. And so I look for places where there's hope to start with.
Mm-hmm.
So hearing that there was a book about hope just
Mm-hmm.
seemed like a great plan to me. Also, I didn't know where to get started with writing. I didn't know how to have people that would want to read my books, or how to even find a publisher that would work with me. I didn't know where to begin. So this was a really great choice for me to start with.
Oh,
So.
I'm so glad.
Yeah.
That, what you just said really did stick with me, and hearing you say it again, which is, you seem to have this very unique perspective on what seems may seem challenging, or maybe something that I guess we would naturally step away from. So if it's something in scripture, or even in parenting, but you seem to lean into that because you see something there worth digging into. Where does that come from?
I'm not sure. I had a lot of great examples, so I can't say pinpoint one, but the Lord really gave me a desire when I was a kid to study Christian people and try to be like them. And so I give all the credit to the Lord, first of all, of course, but secondly to the community of believers out there that show up and do the things they're supposed to do, and share advice with each other and encouragement and how-tos along the way. So I mentioned in my chapter, I was a student of other people, and I really credit the Lord for giving me that hunger to watch and learn.
Yeah, that's gold there, curiosity.
Yeah.
Okay, if there's one thing that you could give to the audience and our readers as a piece of advice from what your chapter speaks to, what would that advice be?
Look for people who are doing things that you want to be doing, and follow them. Really, like follow their ways, follow their advice, ask them questions. It's humbling to ask questions, but it's so important.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I will take that advice for myself for sure. Thank you, Melanie.
Thank
This
you.
has been such a pleasure.
I really appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Let's give a round of applause to Melanie. Okay, I have seen it very quiet in the chat here, and I think we need a little bit of, let's liven it up a little bit. Drop in the comments. Tell us who you're cheering for and who you're supporting tonight. We love to hear from you. Well, next up, we have a fantastic author whom has traveled sort of near from Raleigh, North Carolina, but has an incredible story that she shares in her chapter. And I would love to introduce to you now, Erica. Erica! Hello, Erica.
Hello, Leilani.
It's great to have you here.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Thank you. Is it okay if I ask an icebreaker question to start off?
Yes, you can ask.
I promise I'll be friendly with
Thank
this
you.
one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Friendly only. Friendly only.
Great. What's the most wild adventure that you've been on?
Oh gosh. Most wild adventure.
Have you did like skydiving or anything and like adrenaline sort of thing or?
I've been ziplining.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where did you zip line?
The first time was in Barbados.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
It was very scary, but I loved every minute of it.
So you did it again. You said the first time was
Yeah.
in Barbados.
And then when my nephew turned 13, I took him
Okay.
on a little ziplining adventure in High Point over
Okay.
a field.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You're the best fun aunt.
Yes,
love that.
that was the whole point.
That's the whole point. I love it. Well, Erica, first what I'll do is I'll just have you introduce yourself as well. Your first name, your last name. We already said that you're joining from Raleigh, North Carolina.
Yes.
But can you speak to what your chapter is about without giving it away?
Without giving it away.
Without giving it away.
That's hard. Okay. Well, again, I'm Erica Reed and from Raleigh, North Carolina, but I have to shout out High Point, North Carolina, Hip City,
Love it.
furniture capital of the world, all those things. But my story has to do with knowing that I'm meant to be here
Mhm,
and that regardless of how you come about,
mhm.
the fact that you exist
Yeah.
is really all that matters.
Mhm. Was this chapter personal for you?
Very personal. You weren't supposed to ask that question, Leilani. You know what that does.
Our audience needs to know. Tell us about what your writing journey looked like with writing something so personal, because I know that you are a writer.
Yeah.
What was it like for you writing about something so personal?
This was hard.
Mm-hmm.
I never expected to tell the story. I work with people all the time, helping them through their things, whether it's education or career or personal relationship stuff. And my bestie in the back, she knows this. But I never thought I would have to tell a story so personal and that would have me feel so vulnerable. I'm sure you can hear that. It always shows up. But it was something that I needed to share.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's that vulnerability that really sticks us together. I mean, because of your bravery and sharing your words, I've only met you today, but I feel like even when you walked in, I felt like I've known you for a longer time. And I know we've seen each other on Zoom, but I really appreciate how you've stepped out in that vulnerability and how it has connected you to some people who you didn't even know before today.
Right.
Really.
Right. And I'm appreciative of that.
Well, let's talk about that, the collaborative piece. What would you say was surprising about writing in a collaborative book versus writing on your own?
Yeah, so I think just the mere fact that we all wanted to be a part of this, we chose to be a part of this. Nobody made us. We showed up, we did the work. We knew that we were each kind of in the same space, whatever our stories were going to be. And when you could feel the support, even though we didn't talk a whole lot, but we were connected in a way that I wasn't expecting to be connected to anyone in terms of me telling this story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you've walked away with some new really great friends?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Even though we've just spent the day together, I feel like I have a group that I'll be connected to, if not just because of this book, but because of what we've kind of been through.
Yeah. I love that about being a part of this community that we
Yeah.
have.
Yeah,
great.
definitely community.
Love that.
Yeah.
Tell us to the person, and this will be my last question for you, Erica. To the person that may be on the other side of this, who's doubting themselves, doubting whether they should write their story, or you know, it really matters because there's 1,000 other stories out there, what would you say to them?
I would tell them to choose. And in that choice, there is power and owning your strength and knowing that what you have to say matters.
Yeah.
It's your choice. It's your voice. And it matters.
It's your voice. Your choice. Your voice. I couldn't have said any better. Thank you, Erica.
Thank you,
much.
Leilani.
Ooh, everybody, let's give it in for Erica. All right. Yes. Love to hear from our people. So we have Noemi, who's saying beautiful, said Melanie. Alicia, I'm here supporting Ramela. Rand Shepherd says, go Lil Mama. Love that. Just tons of support here for all of our authors. This is so wonderful to see. Thank you. I don't know anyone personally tonight, but I love hearing all of the authors' stories and their different writing journeys. Always inspiring. See, Pamela Martin, thank you. Thank you. Well, next up, we have a wonderful, wonderful wife, mother, just really woman of faith. And I can't wait to introduce to you Stacy. So can I get everyone to give Stacy a round of applause as Stacy comes to chat with us? Stacy,
Hi,
it's so
Melanie.
lovely to have you in this
Thank
seat.
you. It's good to be here.
It's so good. Okay, so you know what's coming up.
I think so. I'm not sure, but
I'm gonna ask you an icebreaker question.
okay.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Ooh. What is something you are convinced you could win a trophy for?
Oh gosh. Besides eating, let me think.
Well, if you could eat one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be?
It'd be pasta.
Pasta.
That's
That's so
it.
good.
Fettuccine. Yeah.
Fettuccine. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can relate. Carb heaven. I love that. Especially like if it's from Italy or handmade.
Oh yes, definitely.
There you
I would
go.
love to have it.
I'm convinced there'll be a pasta-filled heaven.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'll let enough of my silliness. Can you introduce yourself and where you are coming from?
Okay. Well, I'm Stacy Gothrop, and I'm coming right now from Knoxville, Tennessee. The area, it's Oak Ridge.
Great. Well, we are so happy to have you.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Let's jump into your piece. Why did you say yes to this collaboration?
Well, I've always been a part of like teams with sports.
Yes.
So that was inviting to be a part of a team writing. And yeah, for this piece, I actually think I signed up for 4-piece and then it got full. So, which is very apropos because this was my hope story, and my story has to do about not having it figured out. And, you know, I think I was all ready to go for a piece, and then God goes, nope, new story. I want you to write something from my heart that I did. So,
Sounds a lot like God.
so this piece, actually, my hope story fit just perfect for the story I wanted to share with you, with everybody.
And tell us about your chapter. What, without giving the chapter away, what is something that's like the challenge in your chapter that you could share just a taste of with our audience?
Okay, yeah. I think a challenge that comes to mind is hope versus expectation. Through my journey in the story that I wrote, it has to do with expectation is kind of like when we have closed fists and we want things to go a certain way, and we're kind of pulling at God that I have it, you know, I have it figured out, let's do this. And hope is when you release that and open hands to the Lord and surrender and saying, Father God, you know, I want you your way. And I felt like it, I learned like open hands receive what clenched fists never could.
Yeah, that's good. I do want to ask you something that we've been talking about all day that our audience wouldn't know. So every time that we have a collaborative book, of course, one of the fun parts is the book cover. And on our book cover, we have an illustration, and we've been talking about today with several of our authors about how this has resonated. Can you share a little bit about, because this wasn't planned,
Yeah.
but can you speak to that because the audience wouldn't know?
Yes. It was just amazing when all the authors, we got together, and on the front of the cover is a butterfly, and all of us could relate to the butterfly in different ways. And we realized that God was bringing us all together as a team because we all had a story to share. And introduction to my story has to do specifically with the caterpillar becoming the unimaginable butterfly. And my story has to do with Ephesians 3:20, where God is able to do immeasurably more than we can ask or hope or think or imagine through the power of the Holy Spirit in us. And so our story is about coming in as a caterpillar, but God had the unimaginable for us at the end. So
Yeah, I love that. There's always these, we like to say God winks within our collaborations. And I just find that so incredibly inspiring. And I know that our audience would as well. One last piece of wisdom that you could give to our audience when it comes to writing.
Okay. I think for me, sometimes we think about the completed project and feel like we can't get there and we don't try anymore. Instead, for me, I think the wisdom would be is just like I put on a worship music and I just kind of pray and I just dump everything that comes. I don't try to organize it. I just put all the thoughts, all the stories, don't critique it. And then once it's done, walk away. And then come back and see what God highlights and what other people might highlight on that. Because I think we're critical of ourselves and we think we don't have anything to share. We don't really have a story. But if we just let the Lord just show us and dump it all out and let him come back the next day and go, wow, there is a story there. Or for me with this story, I had a trusted friend that's probably watching right now. Anyway, she was a sounding board for me that said, this is a God story. You need to write it. So.
Yeah. I love that, Stacey. I could really sit in that. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for your honesty there.
Yeah.
It's been such a joy. Thanks for letting me ask you questions.
Yes, thank you.
All right, everybody, let's give a round of applause. Good job, Coach Stacey. And we do really talk about within our world here at Hope Books and Hope Writers that submit that unpolished draft. If you're thinking about writing or thinking about sharing and you have that support, the friend, the mentor, Hope Writers, submit that unpolished version because it's within that process, within the caterpillar life cycle and becoming a butterfly that you really get to see those words come out just the way they should. But next, I would like to introduce to you our next author. And she has been so wonderful to hear from. So I can't wait to share her chapter. Next up, we have Ramela. So everyone, please give a hand for Ramela. Ramela. You just pop.
Thank you.
Love it. This is such a joy. Ramela, is it okay if I ask you an icebreaker question?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. If my Hope story had a color, which one would you pick?
My personal story?
If your chapter had a color?
Yellow.
Yellow.
For sunshine, for light.
Sunshine. Yes.
Yeah.
There's so much that we could draw out of that too.
Yeah.
What, if we're thinking color psychology and what yellow means, what would yellow mean for you and your chapter?
Yellow would mean warmth. Yellow would mean the sun trying to break through the clouds. So it's a dark day, but we get some sun and hope and a glow and a light. So some direction and focus in the midst of things trying to cloud that out.
Yeah.
So that's where my story comes from.
Yeah, that's so great. Okay, Ramela, so that our audience knows when they pick up this book, who they are looking for with your chapter, can you tell us your name and where you're joining in from first?
Yes, I am Ramela Abamantian, and I am from Los Angeles, California.
Okay, Ramela, tell us a little bit about your chapter. What is one theme in your chapter that you would like to share with the audience?
Okay. My chapter invites the reader, to examine the darkness, the hard times, the dismal diagnosis, which was our story, and to look for God, and to walk with God, and to trust God, and to surrender to God. Because in what seemed hopeless and dark and a lot of unknown, God walked that journey with us.
Yeah.
So my hope is that the reader gets that,
Yeah.
that there's nothing that's too far from God. There's nothing that we're going through that He is not literally there every day, every moment.
Ramela, you speak in your chapter about quite a few valleys that you yourself and your family have gone through, but there's something really unique that I find that you speak to that I'm really sure that our audience could lean into. Talk a little bit about what it looks like for you carrying two opposing tensions at once, being hope-filled in that conviction, but also having grief. How was that for you in writing this chapter?
In writing the chapter now and during the time of the diagnosis for my daughter, God revealed that this Christian walk is one where we live in that tension of joy and sorrow, dancing and mourning, grief, pain, suffering, but also hope and peace and joy that you can't really explain except to point to the Father. So it's that tension, and it's a hard place to be, because I think we prefer to be in one place, in the joyful, easy, comfortable place, but that's not the walk.
Yeah. That's beautiful. I'd like to ask you a little bit about writing in a collaborative book. Tell us a little bit about your experience, because I know that from your background, you've done lots of writing before, but in different capacities. What was it like for you writing in this collaborative book?
You know, I was excited, first of all, because it was easy to get one chapter done, then the whole book. So it's a good place to start and to launch. So that felt accessible and doable. But it was also exciting because I felt that if this book gets into the hands of my family and friends, who many of them know the story already, but they'll get to read it again in a chapter format. But they also get to hear 9 other stories of the way God shows up in very different circumstances. So I was excited that I got to be part of that group of hope bringers, basically, to anybody who picks up our book.
Yeah, that's great. If there's one piece of encouragement that you could give to the person on the other side of this, who may be in the beginning of a hard journey, or maybe in the middle, or maybe even at the end, what's a piece of encouragement or advice that you would give them?
What I would say is, whatever you're going through, invite God and look for Him. His fingerprints are everywhere.
Yeah, invite God in. That's good. Well, Ramela, thank you so much for your time and letting me interview you. And we're so excited for what this book and your chapter will do as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ramela. And you do have lots of support, Ramela. We have friends, we have family. Ramela is such a joy. We love you. Yeah, yay, Ramela. You did a great job. It's actually such a joy to be able to see and hear from, my beautiful wife. We have hubby tuning in. Love it. Yes. Yay for the hubbies and the plus ones. It's so great. All right, well, we aren't done yet. We do have more authors, so I will introduce our next author who has been with us. And actually, I'm just realizing we've interviewed all of our authors here in Matthews. Now we're going to our authors who are joining us virtually. So first up, we have none other than Noemi Rivas.
Hi.
Hello. Good
How are
evening.
you
How are
guys?
you?
Excited.
Excited. Okay, tell me, how do you pronounce your name?
It's actually, I was telling our amazing leader, it's pronounced Noemi. I didn't get an Emmy, so that helps a little bit.
Noemi.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Noemi, tell us about your chapter without giving it away. And I just have to point out, I love your picture of Jesus right behind you on the beach.
He's
That's such a
with me
beautiful
everywhere. A little bit of the chapter was a time in my life where the my gosh, how can I word this? I think it was one of my hardest times because I was expecting our firstborn. So, but it all happened in the same breath. And so, I lost track of the question. I'm sorry.
That is so okay. Sometimes I ask these big questions, but I'm so happy to lean into that. With your chapter, what is one theme or emotion that would stick out to our audience?
I feel like joy in the hardest time. Joy regardless of what's going on around you. Almost like digging deep in the pain that I was going through. I felt like I was in a different space. It was weird. It was like an out of body experience when everything was happening. And I love how the Lord showed me his peace. And I think because I knew him, of course, and I had a relationship with him, even going through that, it was shocking to me that I couldn't cry in that moment. And I talk about that in the book. But it took a couple of weeks, and then the Lord just, here you go. Like the waterworks opened up and I was able to grieve. But it's about walking through grieving in such a way that you don't forget who your creator is. You don't forget who he is, how loving he is. I always remember the story of Lazarus, how when Jesus, still knowing that he was going to resurrect him, he still grieved. And that he did it for all of us so we could see what it looked like to authentically grieve. I think people get misconstrued by either religious, I don't want to say wrong theology, but just misconception of what it looks like to grieve. I feel like when you don't grieve, your body will grieve. And so I learned that with other friends that had gone through something like this. But I love how the Lord, even in that, allowed me to be safe. My health was safe. My baby was safe. She's 18 now. So, yeah. So that was learning how to grieve. Yeah.
Jesus definitely was a man acquainted with our grief and sorrows. And so I know that is personal for you and for many who would be watching today as well. Noemi, tell me a little bit about writing. Have you always written, journaled, wanted to be a writer? Why did you say yes to this collaboration?
I've always journaled my thoughts. With this book, I had to dig deep, and the Lord was the one that told me. He's like, you should talk about this. I'm like, okay, Lord. And he always gives me like the middle. And then I'll be like, oh yeah, you're right, Lord. That was an amazing story. And he goes, top before and then after. I'm like, oh my gosh. So he's done this a few times with me where I sit with him. I'm like, what are we gonna write about today, Lord? I usually have conversations with him, and we, my quiet time. I'm a very what's the word I'm looking for? I see things and I visualize things and I hear things. And so the word prophetic comes to mind, but it's more than that. I'm in tune with my environment all the time. And I always, in the mornings, like, what are we doing today, Lord? Like, what are we going to do? Because I work in a courthouse in our county, and there's broken people there every day. So I walk in like, Lord, who do you want me to pray for today? Like every day there's some encounter. So I'm on mission. I'm on mission.
You have a deep, deep faith, and that you're very open with the Lord to share it. So I'm very grateful for that, and especially in your chapter in this book. What is one piece of encouragement that you would give to maybe somebody who's not as comfortable with writing their own testimony?
Pray. pray, just ask the Lord, you know, because my story, like, I mean, at some point I might write a book about it. Um, but I feel like when you just start thinking about a memory, even just a moment, if you're not used to writing about anything, what happened yesterday, you know, start journaling, like just
Yes.
start putting pen to paper and see what the Lord will show you. Sometimes it's just thoughts, right?
Yeah.
But for me, the process was a little more intense because I was in the moment and I was then thinking about, oh, I'm gonna pray, I'm gonna talk about this, I was putting things together.
Mhm.
But I tend to be very quick in my thinking, like, oh, I got this idea, I got that idea. But suddenly with him, I felt like I needed to sit down quietly. And so the word do you say, like slow my roll, so to speak, so that
So
I wouldn't. Go ahead.
no, I was just going to say what I'm taking away, what I'm hearing is what you're saying as an encouragement
Mm-hmm.
is pray and
Yeah.
write about what God is doing in your
Yeah.
present.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Amen.
Well, Noemi, thank you so much for sharing. And we're so glad that we get the opportunity to join with you virtually. We're going to
Thank you.
listen to a couple of our other authors who are joining virtually, but thank you
Yeah.
so much. Appreciate you. All right. And we do have lots of encouragement from friends and family. So Noemi, don't forget to check in the chat and see all the encouragement that's coming your way. Next up, we have the pleasure of speaking with none other than Lindsay Coach. Hello, Lindsay.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing so well. Tell us where you're joining from. And did I pronounce your name correctly?
Yes, you did. You're
Perfect.
good.
Yes.
Yeah, hi, I'm Lindsay, and I'm from a little town called Fawnbell, Pennsylvania. We're about a little under an hour north of Pittsburgh.
Okay. Are you a Steelers fan?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I heard something from an author yesterday. There's two, this is so silly. There's like two gas stations that it's like the East or the West. Are you one or the other? It's like Sheetz and something else. Is that right?
Oh, well,
Is it a Pennsylvania thing?
yeah, well, and I am in Western Pennsylvania, and we actually have a Sheetz not far from us, but
Okay.
I think it's originally from Central or Eastern PA, but I don't know what the other one would be.
It's not Wawa, but it's something that's like a double, almost consonant or double.
Wickville? I don't know.
Maybe. I heard it yesterday and I was like, if I'm going to get in with these Pennsylvanians, I need to know. But thank you so much, Lindsay, for just entertaining my slowness there.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your chapter. What is the title of your chapter? And without giving it away, tell us a little bit about it.
So the title is Renewal by Fire. It's a journey of hope, healing, and transformation. I'm actually an integrative nutrition health coach, and I'm a certified naturopathy practitioner, and I would have never gone down this road if I hadn't overcome my own health issues.
Okay.
So my chapter is basically just describing the experience that I had over about a 2-year period. I was 30 years old. This was about 12 years ago. And I, you know, I had my first child. I have 3 children, and there were some things that happened, and it sent me on an unexpected journey as a young woman. So
that's what you've written your chapter about, this journey and your health journey.
yes.
And your hope within that.
Yes. And I don't want to say, I don't know how much I can say, but
yeah, no, it's good. It's good. Leaving the cliffhanger. I was leaning into it. I'm picking up. Lindsay, tell us, okay, you told us a little bit about your background. How did you even get interested in writing? Why did you say yes to a collaborative book?
So, it's funny. I've always loved to write. Even when I was little, I have little notebooks still that I've kept from, I think the first time I wrote a story, I was 10. It was called Morgan the Monkey. So I've always loved to write. I've always written little stories and journaled and, wrote poetry as I got older. And it's just something that's always been in me. And I've taken a couple cracks at writing little ebooks. I have a blog, I have an email list, and I just really enjoy it. It's always been a great outlet. And actually last year I did the collaborative book for A Peaceful New Year with you guys.
Okay, so this is not new to you.
Right.
The
Yeah.
collaboration part. Okay. So you must have enjoyed the experience because you're back.
I did.
So do you see yourself writing a full book?
I do. I could totally see myself writing a full book. What I love about this with the collaborative book, and and for anybody that's listening that might be interested in writing, but they just don't want to like take that huge jump yet. They just maybe want to do something little. This is perfect for me, being a mom and, having 3 busy kids and a husband who has his own business. This has been a great way for me to just stay in the vein with doing it, but not feel overwhelmed. It's been enjoyable and fun. So.
Well, we hope so. We definitely aim to try to make this a great experience here, but we're so happy that we have you for a second collab, and we look forward to maybe even possibly a full book with you, Lindsay. Well, thank you so much for sharing. We're going to move on to another one of our lovely authors who's also with us, but thank you so much, Lindsay. Okay, next up, we have Anna Gal. Anna, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thank you.
Absolutely. Okay, Anna, is it Gal? I think it's
Gal.
Gal. I knew it. I should have gone like there. Anna, you have such a beautiful display behind you. Where are you joining from?
I am joining from St. Charles, Missouri.
St. Charles, Missouri. How is it?
Near St. Louis.
Okay.
It's going great. It's a beautiful day today.
Yeah. Has Missouri been home for a long time?
Yes, I've lived in Missouri all my life. I lived in St. Charles and St. Charles County. And then also I was over near Kansas City area for a short time while I was in college many years ago. Yeah.
And how did you start writing? Is that something that you studied? Is it something that you were encouraged in?
I started writing as a young mother. I was in my early 20s, many, many moons ago. And I started writing for therapy for myself as a young mom, being able to express, any concerns I had about being a mother, or about my firstborn was my daughter, Rachel, and then continued with that over the years. I've written poems, short stories, and I also have my first memoir written. I did that last year. So, and that's about my childhood going into being a culinary professional.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What a great story. I would definitely love to read about your memoir. Tell us a little bit about your chapter. Was that memoir style as well? Was this something that was a story personally for you, or was it writing about someone else?
It was about myself. It was very personal, very, very personal. It's about actually a pretty dark chapter in my life, dealing with domestic and sexual abuse. That was a time in my life that it took me a while to work through that and be able to write my thoughts down. That I journaled often, and I did that during that time.
For you?
Yes, that is a very good process for me. I would encourage anybody, if you're dealing with anything that's of difficulty, especially, but also your good times, share those on paper. It can be a type of prayer, writing your thoughts. And I was able to take those thoughts and eventually be able to work those through and write this chapter. It's something that's been on my heart for a long time. And I was just elated to have this opportunity. So,
Anna, we're so grateful that you did choose to share. How long had this been inside of your heart that you wanted to share?
Several years. I knew that eventually there would be an opportunity for that. And I would say a good at least 10 years that I
10
wanted
years.
to be able to get that, those thoughts out for others, anybody who would be going through a difficult time like I did. And also the healing. That is so important, that there is hope, there is healing in these things, these difficult things.
Anna, your background is very unique, what you've experienced, but not something that would be foreign to many people, unfortunately. What is a thread of hope that you would leave for someone who's experienced deep trauma?
I would say the hope is that you have a God who has been with you even through that trauma. It may be hard to believe, but Christ is that example, the trauma that he went through. And know that your God is bigger than anything and everything.
That's
and
right.
He's able to heal. He is able to heal. And it's a continual thing. There's little triggers still, something that someone said reminds me of the perpetrator, and know that I am still the daughter of God. The name of my chapter is The Mirror and My Hope. And I can look in the mirror and say, I am a child of God.
Yeah.
And I am valuable. And there is nothing that my God and the blood of Jesus doesn't cover.
Amen. Thank you, Anna. Thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome.
We have two more authors that we are excited to hear from. The next author that we are hearing from is none other than Kate Freeman. Kate, it's so lovely to see you. So happy to see you, Kate. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Kate. Are you a writer who writes in peace with a cup of coffee in the morning, or is it more like chaos, just getting it out? Is it beautiful chaos, or is it very structured?
I've written a lot of journals too. I think I journal quite a bit. I kind of quit for a while. It became too difficult to write some of the things that we were going through as a family for a long time. But then as far as getting everything out, it was very easy to start the process for this story when you sent the prompt, and I received other prompts from you, but this was the one that hit my heart. And I knew immediately what I wanted to write about, and I realized I had a lot to say. And so paring it down was the hard part.
Kate, what is a little bit of your hope story? What's your chapter about in a teaser?
Well, it's about the night that I really relinquished one of my children to God. It's a very difficult time, and but God was there with me, and He was the one that helped me through that time.
You knew what you wanted to write about, and it sounds like, I mean, this is very personal. Was it challenging to write about, or did you feel the urgency to write?
I hadn't really written it down, but I had thought of it many times. I was waiting for the time when I could say the crisis is over. And now we can write about it and minister to others who are going through it. That's what was in my mind. But God showed me that I had to be joyful in the midst of it, that I couldn't hold on to this and really live a joyful life. I had to relinquish my control, my thought of fixing things, and relinquish that to God completely and trust him. And I found out that he is trustworthy.
Yeah.
And that you can put your full weight upon him, and he can take everything and anything that you're going through. And he'll even take your anger, your frustrations. He'll heal all of that. And so writing it out was really good for me. I was a little nervous about showing my son since it's about him, but he was very encouraging. And so I think that it's all for the praise of God and what he can do in a life.
Yeah, that's powerful, Kate. And the fact that you get to share something that's meant so much to you in your walk, in your faith journey, your hope story with your son. What a beautiful and redemptive piece. So I'm already thinking about so many questions that I have about your chapter, but we will table that because our audience needs to read your book and the book that we're sharing with other authors. Before we close out, I do have a question. Well, actually, I have two questions. Kate, what was it like for you writing in a collaborative book? How was this experience with you writing with 9 other authors, having that short timeline, and then the structure that was provided? How was that for you?
I think it's really important to have those short timelines. I think it helps you to really focus in on what you're going to do. And reading the other stories, I've read a few of them. I haven't read all of them yet because I wanted to give it full attention rather than being nervous about it coming out and all of that. But I've read a couple of them and they're very, very hopeful and really encouraging. And it shows you how God is so rich. There's nothing that's really exactly alike in these hope-filled stories. They are all different and unique, and we're bringing so much to the table. I wish I could have joined you all there because I know it sounds like you're having a really great time.
Oh, well, you're with us in spirit. Yeah, Kate, I think I could smack that on a bumper sticker. God is rich. I love that. I appreciate that. And the question that you've heard before, I'll ask you too. What is a piece of encouragement or advice that you would give your fellow writer author when it comes to writing?
I would say just very similar to what the previous author was saying about putting it all down, everything that is in your heart, because you may use only part of that and piece it together, but it gives you a chance to really think through the thoughts that you're having and where you want to go with it. I took some things out that I had put in my original one and added some things that I didn't have in the original. So I think the editing process is probably the most difficult, but having that deadline again is awesome.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. You're putting your heart out there. It's like, I've heard many authors say it's like giving birth, but you've got the right physicians, if I can even say that, to writing around you, helping you. Just make sure. Well, thank you, Kate. I so appreciate your heart and your vulnerability.
Thank you.
And your poetry. Thank you so much for sharing. All right. So we have one more author left with us tonight, joining virtually. And I would be so pleased to be able to introduce our last author, Charlotte. Charlotte, hello. How are you?
Lalani, I can't hear you.
Oh, shucks. We can hear you, which is a great thing, but obviously you can't hear me.
I can't hear you.
Do you have do you have headphones?
I'll try something.
Yes. This is such a fun, I mean, not the best, but it's such a fun part to be able to mime and try to figure out all the audio and technical things. We try our best to there we go. Let's see. We have Charlotte joining again. So hopefully she can hear us.
I can hear you now.
Yay! Success! Oh, great, Charlotte. Oh, we're so happy to have you. I'm so glad you're able to join.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Well, Charlotte, tell us a little bit about you. Tell us your full name, where you're joining from, and why you said yes.
Well, my name is Charlotte Hammett Hubrick, and I'm in Louisville, Kentucky. And I said Louisville, yes.
Louisville. There we go. Love it.
I'm from Louisville. And I said yes because I had written part of this story in another venue for Stonecroft Ministries. So I'm a speaker with Stonecroft Ministries. And so I thought, well, I would really love to have this story published. So it was just a great opportunity.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. I'm so glad that you chose to write with us. If you have background with speaking and doing things within ministry, but speaking to individually to a group of people, what was it like for you writing a chapter in a book with other chapters in it?
Well, I was really drawn to the fact that it was a chapter and that it wasn't, a whole book. So I did not feel overwhelmed. I felt like that it was something that I could do. That was very helpful for me to get started.
Oh, great. Charlotte, tell us a little bit about your chapter. What is one emotion or one theme that really resonates with what you wrote?
I would say surrender is the piece that I would really like to convey to people, because my story is about a childhood dream to be an actress. And my dad was a minister, and I really looked up to him. And he accidentally got me interested in acting. He simply commented, my sister and I were watching a soap opera one summer, I mean, years ago, and he just walked through the room and he just looked at me and he said, "You could do that." And it stuck, it really stuck with me for about 20 years. But it became such an obsession, and it was a very egocentric place for me, and I really wasn't in the perfect will of God by any stretch of the imagination, simply because I made I made some bad choices in relationships, and became very unhappy. And so one day I remember it clearly, I just asked God to please take my desperation to act away from me. And I just felt that burden lift. And I had such a great sense of peace. And it's not that I never acted again, with friends or something like that, but I wasn't driven to just make it the be all and end all of my life. And then God directed me in a path that really made me happy, because I think I was struggling with kind of fighting with God, like, well, you can't make me give up this dream. You gave it to me, but I was just a little off course, and so I ended up teaching, and I ended up being so much happier than I was in pursuing something that just wasn't quite right, and I just praise God for that.
Yeah. So you've found hope and surrender.
I did. I
Yeah.
did.
That's
Mhm.
wonderful. I mean, not easy by any means, it sounds like, but very transformational for you.
That's right.
Which would be encouraging for so many people who maybe are holding on to something that they felt that also God has laid on their heart, that maybe it's just not the right time, or he has something else in store. So I think that there is gold there. Tell us a little bit about, I'm just trying to think, because I want you to be able to share a bit about writing in a collaborative piece. Do you feel like it was helpful to write with a group of other people with the same theme?
Well, I did feel connected to the theme, and I apologize if I was supposed to be talking to a lot of other people. I've certainly benefited from this evening in the collaboration. I think it was just the fact of knowing that I wasn't alone, that there was a group.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to note here, somebody has put in the comments, and you'd be able to see it looking back too, but somebody said, Memher said, I love that. Give over the control to God, and he won't disappoint.
He won't disappoint. I'm celebrating my 27th wedding anniversary to a man I love more today than I did when I married him. So God is very good.
27 years. I love that. Many more to come. Charlotte, what is a piece of encouragement that you could give? You've already given such great wisdom when it comes to what you wrote about with your hope story. What's a piece of advice that you would give to someone in writing?
In writing?
Maybe somebody who's journaling and they're thinking about writing their testimony. What's a piece of advice you would give to somebody who's writing their testimony and maybe hasn't shared it publicly yet?
I think that's a good place to start, is with the journaling and just, letting the ideas flow, almost as, you're having a conversation with God, and saying, I went this way and you pulled me back, and I'm grateful for that. And maybe that would be a kind of the advice I would give, was just that conversation with the Lord and how you moved through certain things, or boy, I really messed up there, didn't I? And, thank you for putting me back on the path.
Yeah, that's very healing. Well, Charlotte, thank you so much for sharing a little bit about your chapter and the hope story that God has brought in with you. And I just want to say, authors, please hang tight. We are going to be wrapping up our time here on the live. We are so grateful for everybody who has joined in. And I will also introduce Brian back.
We did it. Hey, grab a copy of the book. Yeah, give it a hand for all the authors. Way to go, authors. We're so proud of you. Yeah. If you haven't ordered your copy of My Hope Story Volume 3, make sure you do it. There should be a link in the comments. And you can, of course, get it on Amazon. Support all these authors and their amazing story. You never know how these stories that we've published will impact other people. But the first thing you do is go get a copy. So
that's right.
Grab a copy of your hope story. Grab 2 copies, one for you and one for a friend. And congratulations once again to all of our authors. We're so proud of you. You did a great job. First live stream for many of our authors tonight, which is so exciting. If you've ever thought about writing your own story, we would love to have a conversation with you. Just go to hopebooks.com. You can book a call with one of our team members. We would love to talk with you, because we believe that what you've been through isn't wasted when you share it with someone else, and that what you've been through, somebody else is going through right now, and your story can help transform someone's life and give them more hope.
That's right.
Awesome. Thanks for watching, and have a great night.